I thought I was done with this case, but something doesn't add up, and intuitively, I couldn't leave it alone. If you're new here, I'm Marilyn, and welcome to Soul Power Tarot. And I use the tarot and Lenormand to intuitively look deeper into life situations and cases like this. And coming back into this, I'm seeing things in a completely different way now. There are details here that still don't fully make sense. And I want to take another look at what might actually be going on beneath the surface. I've been getting a lot of messages about this from my guides and from you, the viewers, to look deeper into this. If you want a personal reading, everything is in the description below. So let's get right into it. What was happening around Nancy Guthrie before her disappearance? Okay, that's the first thing I want to look into. What was happening around Nancy Guthrie before her disappearance? This is interesting. Okay, this is interesting. I'm going to show you guys something. I don't always do this, but when it's important, I do. So I'm going to show you what's at the bottom first of both decks. We've got the King of Cups. Okay, so this is a man involved in her care. This is someone who she considered family, who is providing care. And you've got the anger long term. Okay, there was some issue with that person. You've got the Ace of Cups. Okay, there was some issue that led to her feeling very overwhelmed emotionally. This is when you just had enough. Your cup is just, you see this cup overflowing, right? And you've got the child and you have the stork. Okay. So she wanted to make some changes about how her care, what her care was going to look like, her affairs. At her age, it's normal to be thinking about those things, right? So she had some emotional discussions with this person, and she was trying to get things in order, but she was in a place where she was also overwhelmed and stressed with this person. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. That's interesting. So there were things happening, right, before her disappearance. And I know a lot of us don't really know what was happening. We have our opinions. And this is sort of confirming some things that have been floating around out there. Now, the next question, what actually happened? Let's look at that. So, what actually happened between Nancy Guthrie and this person she was feeling overwhelmed by? Okay. We've got the Six of Swords. Okay. Let's see what the cards are telling us. It's already interesting. Okay. We've got the Six of Wands. There was a journey, right? This is a journey. One in a vehicle, some type of mode of transportation. She was trying to sort of work this stuff out, trying to move past it, okay, with a female for the past 2 days before she disappeared, right? And her daughter out of the blue was like, "Well, let's go somewhere. Let's go to dinner. Let's talk this over, over dinner." So this trip came up while she was trying to sort this out with this person, okay? So I want to say my disclaimer here. This is for intuitive purposes only and always with respect to everyone involved. We're just looking at the cards and the energy that's coming from these cards. Okay, so with that being said, let's move on. What are we overlooking or misunderstanding right now in the Nancy Guthrie case? What are we overlooking or misunderstanding right now in the Nancy Guthrie case? Okay, so we've got the Three of Swords. This card really, I'm getting some strong energy through it and some sad energy. Three of Swords here. This is telling me a couple of things. We know she had heart problems. You can see this heart, you can see the swords, right? We are misunderstanding the depth of the heart problems that she had, okay? But also, The Three of Swords is about betrayal. You see these knives going through her heart. So that she had some heart issues, but there was also some trust issues with someone. You've got the anchor and the dog, someone who was helping care for her for a long time. There were some trust issues that were developing. And her heart issues also were kind of getting worse. And she felt like, you know what, I need to put things in place. I need to make changes now. Right. So that's kind of what was hidden, what's being misunderstood. There was some heart issues that were exacerbated, and we know she had a pacemaker, but there was also some issue with the person, someone who was caring for her. There was some distrust that was happening there. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. Let's move on to the next question. And so I'm going to look at the energy around the case right now. What is the energy around the Nancy Guthrie case and the search for her right now? Okay. What is the energy around the Nancy Guthrie case and the search for Nancy right now? Okay. We've got the Temperance. So the energy is very hot and cold. Right now, there's some stable progress being made, but it's a little up and down. That's what the Temperance is. There's some headway that was made. There's some balance in it all. There's better control over the investigation. We've got the Star and the Tree. So this is here. This is a couple of things. There's a tree is about health. So there's more clarity on what her health was like, you know, before her disappearance. And also, there is more investigation being done about the terrain outside at night and what routes the person who took her could have taken. So they're focused more on that now. There's a more stable focus on that. Okay. So that is the energy right now. There's a more balanced, more consistent approach here. It's less up and down, even though we still don't have answers just yet, but it's there is more structure, more balance to the search, and there is a focal point, right? Which in one of them here is that terrain at night and the washes and the possible routes this person could have taken and what her health might have been like that night, right? There's a focus on that. So, and who may have had access to her at that time of night easily. So we'll leave it there. We don't want to disturb any investigation that's going on, but that's a brief answer and picture when it comes to that question. So let's move on to the final question. What needs to come out? What is likely to be revealed? Okay. What's likely to be revealed? So, what is likely to be revealed next in the Nancy Guthrie case? Okay. This family card again, we had this in the last reading. Let's see. So there's some spotlight. This is interesting. There's some spotlight that's going to be, again, on the family. This is a family card. The 10 of Cups, a family card. You see a husband, wife, kids. So there's some attention that's going to be back on the family, and you've got a man in the heart. So someone that she considered family and someone who was around her family that used to care for her. Okay. There's some information about this person that's going to come out. The spotlight is going to be turned back on this person. Okay. And again, someone she considered family. There's going to be information that comes out. This is the 10 of Cups. This is telling me over the next 10 days, there should be a little bit more information that comes out. So we'll see how that goes. So in the next days and the next weeks, there should be some things we hear about that situation there, this person who was caring for her. There's a spotlight that's going to be put back on this person and their last interactions with her. So we're going to hear something about that we didn't already know. Okay. And I think this reading has kind of summarized that. So I'll leave it here for now. But I can see why now that my guides are pulling me back to this reading. They keep focusing on this point. They want us to keep our eyes open for this, to understand this here, that this wasn't just a random disappearance. There's more to it than what we know, is basically what this reading is saying. Okay. So let me know what you're picking up on from this. I'd love to know your thoughts. I read all the comments. I'm loving our conversations in the comment section. I don't feel like this is the full story yet. There's still something here that still doesn't fully add up. If you want a personal reading, everything is in the description and in the comments section. Thank you guys for being here, for watching, for chatting with me, for commenting. I really appreciate you all. Take care of yourself, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.